on your skin, you may be missing its full anti-aging potential. Here's the surprising truth. Castor oil is powerful, but when it's used by itself, it can actually limit absorption and results. Today, I'm going to show you what to mix with it to better support collagen and visibly soften wrinkles naturally and safely. Castor oil has earned a strong reputation in natural skincare, especially among senior women, because it creates an immediate feeling of nourishment and softness. When you apply it, the skin often looks smoother right away, which leads many people to assume it's deeply repairing wrinkles and rebuilding collagen. But here's where things get interesting and where most people are misled. Castor oil is an occlusive oil, meaning its primary job is to sit on the surface of the skin and lock things in. That thickness you feel, that heavy protective layer, is not penetration, it's sealing. And while sealing has value, sealing without delivery is where the problem starts, particularly for aging skin. As we age, the skin becomes thinner, circulation slows, and the natural ability of the skin to absorb nutrients declines. Mature skin doesn't just need protection, it needs efficient transport of supportive compounds into deeper layers. Castor oil, due to its molecular structure and high viscosity, moves very slowly through the skin barrier. It forms a film that reduces water loss, which can temporarily make fine lines appear softer, but it does very little to support the internal processes related to collagen maintenance. This is why many women say, it feels nice, but nothing really changes long term. That's not failure, it's physics and biology. Another issue is timing. When castor oil is applied alone as the first step, it can actually block the absorption of anything applied afterward. So if someone uses a serum, a light oil, or even a vitamin-rich product and then seals with castor oil, that can work. But when castor oil goes on bare skin by itself, it creates a barrier before the skin has received anything useful. Over time, this can lead to skin that feels coated but looks dull, tight, or even congested. And for senior women, congestion doesn't always show up as acne. It shows up as rough texture, uneven tone, and deeper looking wrinkles. There's also the hydration misconception. Castor oil does not hydrate the skin. Hydration comes from water. Oils do not add water. They only prevent water from escaping. If the skin is already dry, dehydrated, or nutrient depleted, sealing it with castor oil alone is like closing the lid on an empty container. The skin may look shiny, but underneath, the cells are still stressed. Collagen supporting activity requires an environment where skin cells can function optimally, and that depends on proper moisture balance and nutrient signaling, not just surface lubrication. Here's something that often surprises people. Too much occlusion can slow skin renewal. Healthy skin relies on gentle shedding and regeneration. When a heavy oil consistently sits on the surface without penetration, it can interfere with that natural turnover, especially in older skin where renewal is already slower. Instead of supporting youthfulness, the skin can start to look tired and less responsive. This is why some women notice that after weeks of using castor oil alone, their skin stops improving or even looks worse despite their best intentions. The key takeaway within this point is that castor oil is not bad. It's simply incomplete when used by itself. It behaves more like a protective top coat than a treatment oil. Senior skin needs smart layering, not just thickness. The moment you understand that aging skin requires delivery first and sealing second, everything about oil use starts to make sense. The goal isn't to smother the skin, it's to create conditions where the skin can function better. And that starts by recognizing the limitation of castor oil when it's used alone without anything underneath to support deeper skin health. When it comes to improving the appearance of aging skin, the real breakthrough is not about adding more products, but about choosing the right delivery oil. This is where rosy hip seed oil stands out, especially for senior women. Unlike heavy oils that sit on the surface, rosehip seed oil has a unique fatty acid profile that allows it to move quickly through the outer skin barrier. That speed matters. Aging skin doesn't respond well to thick, stagnant layers. It responds to signals, movement, and gentle stimulation at a cellular level. Rosehip oil provides exactly that. What makes this oil so effective is its natural concentration of linoleic acid and alpha-linolenic acid. These are essential fatty acids that the skin cannot manufacture on its own, and their levels decline significantly with age. When these fats are restored topically, the skin barrier becomes more flexible and responsive. This flexibility improves how the skin communicates internally, which is critical for maintaining collagen structure. Collagen doesn't disappear overnight. It weakens slowly when the skin environment becomes dry, rigid, and undernourished. Rosehip oil helps reverse that environment. Another important detail is the presence of naturally occurring retinoid, like compounds in rosehip seed oil. These are not harsh synthetic retinoids, but gentle, biologically compatible forms that encourage skin renewal without irritation. This is especially important for mature skin, which tends to be thinner and more sensitive. Instead of forcing rapid turnover, rosehip oil supports a steady, controlled renewal process. That means smoother texture, better tone, and a gradual softening of fine lines rather than sudden redness or peeling. Rosehip seed oil is also rich in vitamin C cofactors. While it doesn't replace a vitamin C serum, it supports the pathways that vitamin C uses to stabilize collagen fibers. Think of collagen like a rope. Without proper support, it frays. These cofactors help maintain the integrity of that rope, improving firmness over time. This is one of the reasons rosehip oil is frequently used in clinical skin recovery protocols, including post-procedure care, where collagen preservation is essential. Now, here's where it becomes even more interesting. When rosehip oil is paired with castor oil, something important happens. Rosehip oil penetrates first, carrying supportive lipids into deeper layers of the skin. Castor oil, applied in a small amount alongside it, then seals that nourishment in. This creates a two-step effect in a single application, delivery followed by protection. Without the rosehip oil, castor oil has nothing valuable to lock in. With it, the skin receives both movement and stability, which aging skin desperately needs. Texture also plays a critical role. Rosehip oil is light, fast absorbing, and non-greasy. This allows it to be used consistently without overwhelming the skin. Consistency is what drives visible improvement, not intensity. A product that feels heavy or uncomfortable is rarely used long enough to produce results. Rosehip oil fits naturally into a nightly routine, especially when mixed correctly, making long-term skin support realistic rather than theoretical. There is also a circulation component that often goes unnoticed. Oils that absorb well encourage gentle microcirculation during application. That subtle increase in blood flow improves oxygen and nutrient exchange in the skin. For senior women, where circulation is often reduced, this can make a visible difference in skin vitality. The skin appears brighter not because it's masked, but because it's functioning better. The true value of rosehip seed oil lies in its ability to communicate with the skin rather than sit on top of it. It works with the biology of aging skin, not against it. When used as the penetrating partner in an oil blend, it transforms a simple routine into a targeted strategy, one that respects the changing needs of mature skin while quietly supporting collagen and wrinkle reduction over time. Wrinkles are often treated as a surface problem, but that assumption is what keeps most skin routines from working. A wrinkle is not just a line you see in the mirror. It is the visible result of multiple internal changes happening at once. With age, collagen fibers lose strength, elastin becomes less responsive, and the skin's natural water holding capacity declines. When these systems weaken together, the skin begins to fold instead of bounce back. That folding is what you recognize as a wrinkle. This is why simply adding a heavy oil or a rich cream rarely produces lasting improvement. The appearance may soften briefly, but the underlying mechanics remain unchanged. One of the most overlooked contributors to wrinkles is dehydration at the cellular level. Mature skin often holds less water not because water isn't applied, but because the skin barrier has lost its ability to regulate moisture efficiently. When cells are dehydrated, they shrink slightly, creating micro gaps in the skin structure. Over time, these gaps deepen into visible lines. Supporting wrinkles, therefore, requires restoring both hydration balance and lipid structure. Oils alone cannot hydrate, but the right oil combination can create an environment where hydration is retained and used effectively. This is where strategic oil pairing becomes valuable. A penetrating oil helps restore flexibility to the skin barrier, allowing cells to move and function more normally. When that flexibility returns, the skin surface becomes smoother because it can respond to facial movement instead of creasing under stress. Wrinkles become less pronounced not because they are erased, but because the skin regains resilience. This distinction is critical. Resilient skin resists wrinkle formation far better than skin that is simply coated or padded. Another key factor is skin turnover. In younger skin, old cells shed efficiently and are replaced by new ones in a predictable cycle. With age, this cycle slows. Old cells linger longer on the surface, making the skin look rough and emphasizing fine lines. When turnover is sluggish, collagen signaling also declines. Supporting gentle, consistent renewal helps improve texture and reduces the depth of wrinkles over time. This is why aggressive treatments often backfire in senior skin. They disrupt an already fragile system instead of supporting it. Oil combinations that absorb properly can encourage a healthier turnover rhythm. When the skin barrier is nourished with essential fatty acids, enzymes involved in renewal function more efficiently. The result is not peeling or irritation, but gradual refinement. Fine lines soften because the surface becomes more uniform and better supported underneath. This process is slow, but it is far more reliable than short-term plumping effects that fade within hours. Wrinkles are also influenced by inflammation, even when it's subtle. Chronic low-grade inflammation accelerates collagen breakdown and interferes with repair mechanisms. Mature skin is particularly vulnerable to this as its antioxidant defenses decline with age. Oils rich in supportive lipids can help calm this inflammatory environment by reinforcing the barrier and reducing stress signals in the skin. When inflammation decreases, collagen degradation slows and existing collagen fibers are preserved longer. Another point that deserves attention is nighttime repair. Skin performs most of its regeneration during sleep. When cortisol levels drop in growth, related processes increase. Applying the right oil blend in the evening supports this natural rhythm. Instead of forcing change, the skin is given the tools it needs while it is already in repair mode. Over weeks and months, this alignment with the body's biology leads to visible improvement in wrinkle softness and overall skin quality. The most important shift is understanding that wrinkle improvement is cumulative. No single application transforms the skin. But when hydration retention improves, turnover becomes more efficient, inflammation decreases, and collagen signaling is supported, the skin begins to behave differently. Lines look softer, texture appears smoother, and the face looks more rested. This is not about chasing perfection, it's about restoring function. When skin functions better, it naturally looks younger, even without dramatic intervention. One of the most common mistakes in skincare, especially among senior women, is believing that more product equals better results. In reality, the skin responds best to precision, not excess. The ratio between oils matters just as much as the oils themselves. When castor oil is used in too high a concentration, its thickness can overwhelm the skin, leading to a heavy, coated feeling that interferes with normal skin function. Instead of supporting renewal, the skin becomes sluggish. This is why a controlled ratio is critical. It allows the skin to benefit without being burdened. Using a smaller amount of castor oil alongside a higher proportion of a penetrating oil creates balance. The lighter oil moves first, carrying beneficial fatty acids into the skin, while the castor oil follows as a stabilizing layer. This sequencing happens naturally when the ratio is correct. If the balance is off and castor oil dominates, penetration slows dramatically. The skin may appear glossy, but underneath, absorption is limited. Over time, this imbalance can contribute to clogged pores, uneven texture, and a dull complexion, particularly in mature skin where cellular turnover is already reduced. Another reason ratio matters is skin sensitivity. Aging skin is not just drier, it is more reactive. Too much of a heavy oil can trap heat and irritants against the skin, increasing the risk of redness or discomfort. A properly diluted blend allows the skin to breathe while still maintaining protection. This is especially important for nighttime application when the skin's temperature rises slightly and repair activity increases. A balanced oil blend supports this process instead of interfering with it. Consistency is another critical factor. A blend that feels too heavy or greasy is rarely used regularly. Skincare only works when it becomes routine. When the oil mixture absorbs well and leaves the skin comfortable, it encourages daily use. That daily application is what leads to cumulative improvement in texture and wrinkle appearance. Small, consistent signals to the skin are far more effective than occasional heavy treatments that disrupt balance. There's also a mechanical aspect to consider. Applying a moderate amount of oil allows for gentle massage without excessive pulling or dragging. This improves microcirculation and lymphatic movement, both of which decline with age. Improved circulation enhances oxygen and nutrient delivery to the skin, supporting repair processes that influence collagen maintenance. When too much oil is used, massage becomes slippery and ineffective, reducing these benefits. Another overlooked point is how oil ratios affect layering with other products. Many senior women use minimal routines, but even simple routines benefit from compatibility. A properly balanced oil blend can be applied over slightly damp skin or over a light serum without blocking absorption. Excessive castor oil, on the other hand, acts like a wall. Once it's on, nothing else penetrates. This limits flexibility and reduces the effectiveness of otherwise beneficial products. Skin responds to signals, not force. A thoughtful oil ratio sends a clear message: nourish, protect, and allow normal function. Over time, the skin adapts to this supportive environment. It becomes less reactive, more resilient, and better able to maintain hydration. Wrinkles appear softer not because they are masked, but because the skin underneath is functioning more efficiently. Perhaps the most important insight is that aging skin thrives on simplicity done correctly. Precision in ratios reflects respect for the skin's changing biology. Instead of overwhelming it, you guide it. When the balance is right, the skin doesn't fight the product, it works with it. That cooperation is what leads to visible improvement over time without irritation, heaviness, or disappointment. Skin aging is not just a matter of what is applied externally. It reflects deeper internal processes that must be supported simultaneously. Mature skin often struggles with circulation, nutrient delivery, and cellular repair. Even the most carefully chosen topical oils cannot create collagen from scratch, but they can create the optimal environment for the skin's natural mechanisms to function. When the skin is properly nourished and protected, every renewal cycle is more effective. The oils act as facilitators, supporting what the skin already has rather than forcing unnatural change. Nutrient transport is a key aspect, often overlooked in topical care. Essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and factors in oils like rosy hip help reinforce the lipid matrix of the skin. This matrix is critical for maintaining moisture and delivering nutrients where they are needed most. When the skin barrier is healthy and flexible, molecules move more efficiently, supporting collagen fibers and elastin structures in the deeper layers. Without this support, the surface may look temporarily smooth, but the underlying structure continues to weaken. This is why senior women often notice that some products feel good initially but fail to produce lasting improvement. The relationship between external oils and internal nutrient support is synergistic. Oils applied consistently help stabilize the barrier, which reduces water loss and irritation. Reduced irritation means the skin's repair mechanisms are not constantly reacting to stress, allowing collagen synthesis to continue uninterrupted. In aging skin, where collagen production naturally slows, minimizing stress and maximizing support is essential. Even subtle improvements in the barrier function can significantly impact wrinkle depth and overall texture over time. Another important factor is the communication between skin cells. Aging impairs signaling pathways, making it harder for fibroblasts to produce the collagen and elastin needed to maintain elasticity. Topical oils do not directly stimulate these cells in the way medications or procedures might, but they create the conditions that allow these cells to function optimally. By maintaining hydration, supporting the lipid structure, and reducing minor inflammation, oils provide an environment where fibroblasts are more likely to maintain consistent collagen output. Over months of consistent use, this can translate into visible improvement. Consistency and technique also play critical roles in enhancing nutrient support. Gently massaging a balanced oil blend increases microcirculation, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the dermal layers while promoting lymphatic drainage. This subtle stimulation can enhance the skin's responsiveness, ensuring that the repair and maintenance processes are more effective. In contrast, irregular or aggressive application can cause irritation or fail to support deeper layers, limiting long-term benefits. Hydration, barrier integrity, and cellular support together determine how well the skin maintains its structure. Mature skin that is deprived of these elements will naturally show deeper lines, sagging, and dullness. By integrating oils in a precise and thoughtful way, senior women can improve the environment for their skin, allowing collagen to be preserved and wrinkles to soften. The oils act as a bridge between the external application and internal function, translating care on the surface into functional improvements within. Over time, the cumulative effect of consistent, properly formulated oil application becomes evident in texture, firmness, and overall vitality. The most critical aspect of this point is understanding that improvement is systemic, not purely cosmetic. Supporting circulation, maintaining barrier function, reducing inflammation, and facilitating nutrient delivery all work together to create conditions in which the skin can function near its biological potential. Oils do not force the skin to change. They support it in doing what it was designed to do, allowing the effects of aging to be slowed and the natural processes to operate more efficiently. Senior skin responds best when care respects its biology, enhances its environment, and reinforces its innate repair capacity. The final and often most overlooked aspect of effective skin care for senior women lies in understanding that the skin is not an isolated system. It is deeply connected to internal biological processes, circulation, and cellular function. Many women focus solely on what they see on the surface, the lines, the sagging, the dullness, and fail to recognize that these visible signs are the culmination of complex physiological changes occurring beneath the epidermis. Collagen breakdown, decreased elastin responsiveness, slower cellular turnover, reduced hydration, and subtle chronic inflammation all contribute to how the skin ages. Addressing these factors externally requires a strategic approach that combines nourishment, protection, and support for natural repair mechanisms. The importance of this approach cannot be overstated because mature skin cannot rely on the same rapid regeneration that younger skin enjoys. Every intervention must be deliberate, targeted, and supportive of the skin's underlying biology. When oils are applied correctly, they act as a facilitator for multiple simultaneous processes. First, they help stabilize the lipid barrier of the skin, which is essential for retaining moisture. Hydration alone does not create collagen, but it creates the environment in which fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen, can operate effectively. Inadequate hydration leads to cellular stress, which signals the body to slow down repair mechanisms. When the skin is consistently supported with the proper oil blend, it reduces that stress, helping cellular processes function more efficiently. This means that fine lines are not merely masked by superficial shine, but that the tissue underneath is supported and reinforced. The synergistic effect of combining a penetrating oil like rosehip seed oil with a sealing oil like castor oil is particularly important. Rosehip oil delivers essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and cofactors directly into the skin, ensuring that critical nutrients reach the layers where collagen fibers reside. Castor oil, when used in the right ratio, locks these nutrients into place, preventing them from evaporating or being lost to the surface. Without this combination, the benefits of penetration are limited, and the protective function of the oil layer alone cannot achieve deep structural improvement. This dual approach ensures that mature skin receives both nourishment and protection in one routine, creating conditions that support long-term firmness and elasticity. Another key aspect that is often underestimated is the role of microcirculation. As we age, blood flow to the skin diminishes, reducing the delivery of oxygen and vital nutrients. Gentle massage during application of the oil blend stimulates microcirculation and enhances lymphatic drainage, ensuring that nutrients and oxygen reach the cells that need them most. This mechanical support is subtle but highly impactful, because it directly affects the efficiency of the skin's natural repair processes. Improved circulation also helps remove waste products that can contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress, further supporting collagen preservation and skin vitality. Aging skin also faces the challenge of chronic low-level inflammation. Even when it is not visibly irritated, mature skin produces inflammatory markers that accelerate collagen degradation and weaken elastin fibers. Oils rich in essential fatty acids, antioxidants, and supportive cofactors help mitigate this inflammatory environment. By reinforcing the lipid barrier and improving cellular function, the skin becomes less reactive and more resilient. This reduction in inflammation allows repair mechanisms to operate uninterrupted, which is essential for the long-term maintenance of collagen and skin elasticity. Over time, these subtle improvements accumulate, leading to a smoother, firmer appearance and a more even tone. Cellular turnover is another factor that must be supported to achieve visible improvements. Mature skin sheds dead cells more slowly, leading to rough texture and accentuated wrinkles. The penetration of nutrients, combined with proper hydration and barrier support, encourages a healthier turnover rate without the harsh effects associated with aggressive exfoliation. Over weeks and months, this improved turnover results in a gradual refinement of texture, allowing wrinkles and fine lines to appear softer and skin to feel more supple. The combination of consistent application, nutrient delivery, and barrier stabilization works synergistically to restore the skin's natural rhythm, which is critical for long-term results. It is important to understand that the improvement process is cumulative and multifactorial. No single product or routine will reverse years of structural changes overnight. What works effectively for mature skin is a strategic approach that aligns with its biological needs. Oils, when used correctly, do not simply coat the skin. They facilitate hydration, nutrient transport, circulation, and cellular support. Each of these elements reinforces the others, creating a feedback loop in which the skin's natural repair processes are amplified rather than hindered. This is why consistent, thoughtfully applied care produces visible results over time, while sporadic or improperly applied treatments fail to achieve meaningful improvements. The method of application is also critical. Light, even massage during application ensures that oils penetrate efficiently without overstimulating or irritating the skin. Pressure and motion help guide nutrients into the deeper layers, improve blood flow, and stimulate lymphatic activity. When senior skin is treated with care and precision, it responds with enhanced resilience. Lines and folds appear softer not because they are artificially filled, but because the underlying tissue is nourished and supported. This approach respects the skin's physiology while amplifying its capacity to maintain structure and elasticity. Another element to consider is the synergy between topical support and the body's internal environment. While oils cannot create collagen on their own, they enhance the skin's ability to utilize internal nutrients, antioxidants, and repair signals. This interplay between internal and external support is crucial. When the skin is prepared to function optimally, it makes the most of the body's natural regenerative potential. Nutrients absorbed from diet and circulation are more effectively integrated, and repair mechanisms operate with greater efficiency. The oils act as a conduit, ensuring that the skin is receptive to support rather than being blocked or stressed by inappropriate care. The cumulative effect of these factors, hydration, barrier stabilization, nutrient delivery, microcirculation, inflammation control, and cellular turnover, is what defines successful wrinkle reduction and collagen support. Each element reinforces the others, producing an environment in which mature skin can maintain its structure, elasticity, and overall vitality. By understanding that aging skin is a dynamic system rather than a static surface, care can be approached strategically using targeted interventions that enhance the skin's inherent capacity to repair and rejuvenate. Over time, these consistent, precise actions lead to visible improvements in firmness, smoothness, and radiance, allowing the skin to age gracefully while maintaining its functional integrity.